Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Superman issue number 14. This was an otherwise pretty good book. The art in this was boom. It's like Rice was just like, I'm making this the best book you've ever seen. And yeah, could be. Could be. Absolute freaking superstar. But there were so many things that should have worked in this book, but they didn't put in the time. Let's get into all that after we talk about who made the book. So, we got the Unity Saga, the House of El, the conclusion. Here's the first part that pissed me off. Part 1. I'm sorry, how do you have part 1 of a conclusion? Like, it's called the conclusion, part 1. No, that is not a conclusion. Don't talk to me about that. Don't talk to me like that, man. Freaking even the Lord of the Rings knew better than do that. There's like 10 conclusions in the same movie. But it's not like the last movie, part 1, the last movie, part 2. They didn't do that. So they're, Anyway, Brian Michael Bendis is the writer. Ivan Rice on pencils. Joe Prado, Eau Claire Albert on inks. Alex Sinclair on colors, who I met at Fan Expo Canada just last Friday. Totally amazing, awesome human being. Wes Abbott on letters. I'm sad that letterers don't go out there. I know they're not going to get the most love in the world, but I would talk to them, absolutely. Reese Prado and Sinclair did the cover. Adam Hughes did the variant cover. And, of course, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster created the Man of Steel himself, Superman. Every single one of DC's comics this week opened up with, it's like one page, and then you turn the page, and there's a double-page spread. I'm pretty sure it was every single issue of DC Comics this week. I'm okay with it. It's just, what is that, like DC's new formula for success? That's what's going to get people to start buying the comic books again? Yeah, no. Sorry, not going to work. In fact, it just became way too predictable. I'm like, ooh, what's the double-page spread going to be? And you could tell that it was forced. It had to have come from an edict up high, because some of them were like, dude, I wasn't planning on doing a double-page spread, so this was just dumb. Anyway, this, however, was a really great double-page spread. Like, you could see the diversity of the DC universe, not the planet Earth, no, the entire universe in the Detective Comics because wow, like in Marvel you'll have like the Kree, the Shi'ar, the Skrulls. They all pretty much look like humans, just a little bit funky, a different color. Maybe their chin's got something hanging down from it, like Thanos. Yeah, whatever. But for the most part, nah, dude. A lot of these guys, aside from like Ranians and maybe the Quardians and the Thanagarians, you ain't gonna have a whole lot of these races walking down the streets of freaking New York without turning some eye. You tell me that a Dominator's gonna walk down the street talking about, hi, yes, I'm Bob. I live on 42nd and 5th. Like, dude, no, you don't. No, you don't. Actually, be 47 and 50th, 42nd and 50th, but you get what I'm saying. What do you call it? Yeah, that first page, that actually did set the mood. That was really good. Great job there. After that, I'm afraid, look, I know that there was the whole conversation Superman and Zod had, Drew Zod and Kal-El had when Superman went all like super speed talking, which was, in hindsight, it was actually kind of cool. Fine. It was kind of cool. But that being said, way too much trust in crazy. Like, let's just look at how this all happened, right? Later on, there's a moment where the houses of Zod and El unite, and but like all the rest of, like, Supergirl shows up, Superdog shows up, Superboy shows up. Zod is there with Ursa and their son, and it's like, the last son of Krypton. Takes on a whole new meaning when there's like a group of them walking into, onto this planet, when any one of them could probably take them all on. But like all of these guys, 6, 7, 8 of these guys, ain't nobody standing up to these fools. Man, they just gonna be like wiping the floor with all these different races, suckers. And then like more show up. Mon-El shows up, and it's like, come on now. But there was too much banking on the insanity, the potential insanity of Zod for this plan to work. Krypton? You brought me to Krypton? Like, come on, dude. He could have just as easily been like, why would you bring me here? This was stupid. You know what? I'm leaving. Just as easily that could have happened. So, really stupid plan. Sorry. I'm calling it a stupid plan. What do you call it? When the House of El, all the guys kind of get together, you can see the moment where Jor-el is like, oh, the House of Hell. And look, Rice pulls it off, okay? Ivan Rice, he definitely pulls it off here. I'm going to show you the picture because it deserves to be seen. Right there. Like, looks great. You know what the problem I have with this is? We've seen all these characters before. They've been in here recently in these very books. We've seen them in the other books. We've seen them crossing over. We've seen them talking. And he's just like, the House of Hell. Shut up, you stupid old man. Why is everybody being called crazy in this book except for Grandpa when that was just the big deal recently? Guys, I had to age a whole bunch. It was like 3 years, whatever it was. I had to age a lot. I can't be a super son anymore. I'm a super teen. Just so I could say these words. Grandpa's crazy. No shit, Sherlock. We knew this. We knew this. Dumb little kid. You know how he got that scar on his cheek? If I break a window. Anyway. Yeah, this was too much stuff. Too much stuff happened that was simply undeserved. If you didn't write it into the story, if you didn't build up that the House of L is separated and all of a sudden it comes together and Grandpa's happy and we didn't already establish that you're a freaking psychopath, maybe that line of the House of L. God damn it, that should have worked. That should have worked. But Bendis failed miserably. Completely 100% missed it. I'm not talking about, oh, I'm trying to land my ship on a dime. Dude, forget about the side of a barn. God damn it. You had a planet to land this thing on. A planet. And you fuzzed it up. The whole thing, you screwed it up, dude. You couldn't land the ship. You landed it upside down on the moon. Damn it. That sucked. This was such a great... That art, that work, that look should have such a payoff, and you screwed the whole thing up. You screwed the pooch by just having this book that just kind of goes, well, now let's do this stuff. Like, come on, man. I'm trying. Oh, God, I'm trying. Go and check out my Action Comics review. I actually loved that book, also by Bendis. But this one, there are too many little things that should have worked that just didn't. This. Why the hell couldn't that have happened so much sooner? If that's the way we're going to finally defeat Rogal Zar, that could have happened at any damn time in 14 issues, plus what was happening in Action Comics, plus 6 issues of freaking Man of Steel, plus Action Comics number 1000. I'm sorry, how many freaking pages do you need? How many books? How many panels? How many stories and volumes and trade paperbacks? How many do you need just to make this happen? It all gets ended by 2 people punching the guy? 2 people who were together for such a long time? What an absolute epic fail! You were building up to this amazing story. And here comes the ultimate spoiler for the book. If you don't want it, you need to leave now. If you didn't read this book, or you want to read the book, let me tell you the biggest fail right now. This idiot. We raised this kid to be, and nobody had anything to do with this except Bendis. This was 100% Bendis. Too many people in DC Comics telling me, no names, too many people telling me this was 100% Bendis. We raised him up to 17 or whatever just so that he could join the Legion of Superheroes, which any freaking, you could have got. How many Superboys do we have? How many Superboys do we have? But we needed to have Jon do it. The idea that, oh, Jon's going to supersede his father. With all due respect, Superman, I'm sorry, this is kind of awkward, but it wasn't actually you who's getting the invite. It's Jon. Why? Because Jon decided to create the UN of planets. The most basic, brainless, simplistic idea that their enemies have been doing forever, and we've seen a United Federation of Planets before. I'm sorry, we all know Star Wars, we all know the Rebel Alliance, we all know what's happened in Marvel, we all know what's happening in DC. This is nothing new. You couldn't slap a freaking expiration date on this and claim that it's new. You couldn't do a packaging date, nothing. Nothing is going to make this a new idea. All of this, for this, everything that's happened so far in the book, for this, screw you for thinking that this is going to impress anyone with 2 brain cells or more to rub together. This is an epic fail on a galactic scale. This is so miserable. Jon is great because he created the UN, and now we've got the freaking Terminator syndrome coming on. The only, the biggest freaking truck-sized planetary plot hole in the Terminator franchise is, let me get this straight. We won, but then we lost. So you sent somebody back to, well then how did you inseminate but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. John Connor's birth doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? Likewise, if the planets weren't, if the UN of the planets didn't work, United Planets didn't work, or, you know, if they said no to it, or at least they didn't say yes to it, nobody even piped up and said, you know, the boy's got a good idea. No, instead, it was the legion of superheroes from the 31st century showing up and saying, this was the day that Jon didn't do a goddamn thing. It was a stupid idea to begin with that we've already seen time and time again in the comic books. And now this, and now this, and now we get, you know, I think that we should do this. Oh, this was the day. What was the freaking day? What was the day? Nothing happened. People just looked at it like he was an idiot. So now we have this Terminator paradox. It wasn't Jon who did it. It wasn't. Oh my God. I cannot believe I'm losing my mind over a comic book. Brian Michael Bendis screwed the pooch. And when I say screwed the pooch, he grabbed that pooch. He's banging the pooch, baby. He's banging that poor little pooch. Somebody call freaking ASAP, whatever. You call freaking Humane Society because he's screwing a pooch right now, laughing. What the hell? What is this? We had Action 1000, what do you call it? We got freaking Man of Steel. We got 2 different Superman comic books. Aged freaking Jon destroyed one of the most beloved comic books. Screw your sales. Screw your sales for simple-minded people who only look at sales of the number 2 most popular character ever created. Right after Batman. Sales show that. Batman and Superman will always sell. And you got rid of Adventures of the Super Sons because you aged Jon for no intelligent reason. None. There was not one intelligent reason for this. We still don't know how Lois got back and all that crazy. We don't know. All this for 2 people who'd been hanging out together the whole time to double uppercut the guy. How in the hell Brian Michael Bendis, who is writing Naomi, who's writing, for crying out loud, I'm so frustrated right now. Who's writing the, with all the super, like the Teen Titans thing, the Young Justice. He's writing Young Justice. All right? With all the really great books that he's writing right now. He's got Pearl out there, right? He's got all these really good books. And he's going to turn around and pull this crap? Jon didn't need to age in order to join the Legion of Superheroes. If he's going to the 31st century because you got to get rid of Jon, this beloved character, who doesn't like Jon? Who doesn't want to see Jon growing up with his family? And this kid's not any smarter than he was when he left. He's been gone this whole time for 3 years or so as a prisoner, talking to himself and essentially playing with himself over with the Injustice society, whatever the hell they're called right now, with the Krypton cocaine addicted version of Superman. Kryptonite cocaine, like crack cocaine. Shut up. Dude, this was such an epic fail. All of that for this, and we lose our Jon. You could have simply written it's in the goddamn future. All of this just to get him into the Legion of Superheroes. A book that is in the 31st century. All of this to write a book that's in a millennium away. You could have just simply said, hey, 3 years from now, the Legion of Superheroes is going to show up. And they're going to take this kid. And they're going to bring him in because he did something cool. And then you wind up telling us later what the cool thing is that he did. And if you want to make it that he made the freaking UN, oh my God, it's such an innovative idea. If stupid humans could come up with that idea, I'm pretty sure that the aliens could do the same thing. But what the hell do I know? What the hell? I'm just a stupid human. I'm not doing a second take on this. This is my review. This is thoughtless, brainless. It doesn't take a freaking genius writer to make drivel like this. Drivel. Useless. All you did was take away a beloved character. That's all that this did. All of this, every single thing that happened here, just to take away probably one of the most beloved characters, definitely one of the most beloved teams in the freaking DC universe. I don't care about the sales of Superman and or Batman compared to some other book, including Super Sons. Super Sons is a book that should have continued because nobody read that book and said, this sucks. In fact, word of mouth was just getting out, and people are to this day still complaining that the book is over. We shouldn't have even had to have Adventures of the Super Sons. We should have just had the continuing, uninterrupted Super Sons comic book. Because they built up for that, something that Brian Michael Bendis doesn't know how to do. He builds up for a double uppercut and, hey, let's make the United Nations, but with the planetary scale. Oh my God. Oh my God. This was a fail. And this is my review. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.